And he would mentally go through this process of taking off the problems that he was be wearing throughout the day, as a jacket or whatever it is, shirts. He'd take it off and he'd hang it on a hanger and he'd hang it up on the problem tray. And that meant that they're there. They're outside. I can pick them up and wear them tomorrow, but they're going to stay outside. And when I walk in, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Upgrade My Rituals podcast. My name is Kevin McKella, your host, and this is, of course, the show for high performers, business owners, solopreneurs, whatever it may be, that are looking to be more productive in their day-to-day, trying to find that perfect day that they can try to map out and execute. And it has been a couple of weeks of a hiatus for me, so thank you, and I'm back. And I didn't even have time to record an episode of the fact that I'd be gone because things got so crazy so fast, and we had a baby. Woo! So we had a little girl. Quinn was born on the 25th at 2:55 in the morning, and I am super excited, and she's just absolutely gorgeous, and everyone's doing great. We had, obviously, to take a couple of weeks to try to find our groove with this little one. She was running my ritual design for a while, and she still is, but that's okay. I will be doing a full episode on the Baby Chronicles, which is the segment where I kind of talk about routines and ritual design with a newborn and with a baby. So that'll be fun. But today's episode and today's quick tip is revolved around something entirely different, which is work dreams. Don't you hate it when you spend an entire day in the office, in your home or in the office, whatever, you start an entire day working, you're wiped, you go to sleep, and then it feels like you're clocked right back in, right? You're having dreams about work. I hate that. Most of the times whenever I started a new job, I would always have work dreams. I would always have that stress of trying to learn the ropes, trying to make a good impression, trying to figure it all out, and I would always put some extra pressure on myself. That would always result in work dreams. And I will tell you, today's really, really easy antidote to that is a clearly manufactured AW routine. That, again, is the after work routine, which is part of ritual design. And I think it's really, really helpful if it's done right. So I'm going to give you three parts of my AW routine that kind of work for me to avoid those work dreams. So the first thing is to try to clear out any type of internal or external communication within your job. So for me, most of my past jobs have been client services. I would pretty much live in my inbox. I just had to. That was the nature of the job. And by the end of the day, what I wanted to make sure I had done is a inbox zero, not necessarily responding to all the emails, but processing all the emails. So if, say, I'm fairly busy from, say, 2 o'clock to the rest of the day, and I'm working with clients, I'm, making up decks, whatever it may be, and then I haven't been in my inbox for a couple hours, definitely some things have come through. So what I'll do is I'll just go in and process all those emails, meaning I'll move them into the right folders that I've organized and set up. Say my reference folder, my on hold folder, my to-do list, and then my, if I don't need it, I delete it. So that I definitely will do with my inbox. I'll make sure that when it's at inbox zero, I close it out and don't look at it again. And I'll also respond to any type of internal communication, usually through like Slack or something like that, or Salesforce, whatever it may be. So those are some of the things I do when it comes to communication that knows, and that's probably one of the most important things, because that tells my brain that, all right, everything is taken care of. These things will, they'll be there for me tomorrow. I can kind of release and let go, and everything's there for me, right? I don't have to worry about, Frank not being happy because his bill was whatever. Like I didn't even read it. I just know where it has to be. Boom, done. Second thing, what I do is like to have a clear space, and I like to make sure that my desk and or my workspace is clear and set for the next day. Because if I leave work at the end of the day knowing that I'm going back into a complete physical mess, it's going to stick with me, right? So the trick to that is obviously keeping it fairly tidy throughout the day, because if you don't have any organization system, then it's going to take hours to clean up your whole desk every day. So another topic for another day, but keep a clear space. The third and I think second to most important thing about avoiding these work dreams by your AW routine is by mentally separating yourself from work, however that is. If you work from home now, it's a little bit harder, but there's ways to do it. And I'm going to give you an example of someone, of all people, my college band director taught me, and he called it the problem tree. And the problem tree is something that what he would do is when he would drive home from the university, he would drive and he would pull up and he would see this tree that he picked out on his property. And he would mentally go through this process of taking off the problems that he was be wearing throughout the day, as a jacket or whatever it is, shirts. He'd take it off and he'd hang it on a hanger and he'd hang it up on the problem tree. And that meant that they're there. They're outside. I can pick them up and wear them tomorrow, but they're going to stay outside. And when I walk in, I'm not bringing any of those problems inside my house. I'm not letting any members of my family have to deal with my issues because they're on the problem tree. I actually thought that was really, really cool. I used to think it was a little geeky, but it does make sense. If you're working from home and you have a designated workspace, then that's also fairly easy, right? If I close my office door, I can literally pick anything in my basement down here. I can, pick the laundry line, right? And that's where I hang my problems, right? And then I go upstairs and fine. It's harder though because we don't have that half hour, 45-minute commute. We don't have that process of getting our stuff, getting into the car, getting out of the car, which kind of triggers us, right? So we do have to set a trigger, which is, again, another conversation. But if you don't have a designated workspace, that's a first thing I think I would suggest you look into. But if you don't, making a simple trigger as closing the laptop, right? Even if you're going to reopen it later for personal stuff, closing the laptop is you're closing down on the problems of your day, right? And you're squashing them. Easy, right? I think these three parts, if you implement into an AW routine, again, it has to be part of your routine. You have to do it every day. That will help tremendously with avoiding those work dreams, avoiding feeling like you're clocking back in and just like doing stupid things like you're working. Oh gosh, I hated that. So try those out, and I would love to hear how it went. And if you feel like somebody else that would help somebody else that does have work dreams, send it their way, and I'm happy to be back. I'm happy. I'm back in the hot seat, baby. So thank you so much for listening. If you liked it, like I said, I would love you to hear what you liked in the comments below. And subscribe. That would be awesome. And, if you really, really like it, leave me a review. That would be fantastic. It would help me and it would help other people find the podcast. So until next time, thank you so much for listening to the Upgrade My Rituals podcast.